Hello, my friends. My name is Ryan Freeman. Welcome to my life. Today I thought rather than choosing the poem to read for you, I would just grab my giant book of poetry and flip to a random page and just cold read it and then cold talk about it, which is sometimes what I do, but this is even more cold than normal. So I'm going to flip to a random page somewhere towards the middle, beginning. And the title of the poem is The Way Through the Woods, and it is by Rudyard Kipling. I've never actually read Kipling. I just bought the portable Kipling with many of his short stories. I know that Kipling wrote very fancifully and illustratively, if that's correct, about India and sort of provoked the imagination of my favorite philosopher, Alan Watts, and was one of the reasons that Alan Watts got into Hindu mythology was because of Kipling. So this is the first time I've read him, The Way Through the Woods. Here we go. They shut the road through the woods 70 years ago. Weather and rain have undone it again, and now you would never know. There was once a road through the woods before they planted the trees. It is underneath the coppice and heath and the thin anemones. Only the keeper sees that where the ring-dove broods and the badgers roll at ease, there was once a road through the woods. Yet if you enter the woods of a summer evening late, when the night air cools on the trout-ringed pools where the otter whistles his mate, they fear not men in the woods because they see so few. You will hear the beat of a horse's feet and the swish of a skirt in the dew. Steadily cantering through the misty solitudes, as though they perfectly knew the old lost road through the woods, but there is no road through the woods. So, when I read a poem, sometimes I like just to read it without thinking about it. So I'm just filled up with the sound, the sheer joy of the sound, and I don't know how it sounded to you. I would encourage you to read it yourself if you can get a hold of any poem. And this poem's a perfect example, is that when you read it out loud, just the joy of reading it does something for you, even without going into the minutia of the words or the meaning or the particular style. You could, of course, analyze anything exhaustively, sometimes too much, but the joy of reading, the sound, I really enjoyed the flow that I just naturally took by the way it's structured, and I liked the rhyming. It was beautiful. So they shut the road through the woods 70 years ago. Weather and rain have undone it again, and now you would never know. So it's like, I like that image of there was an old road through the woods, but you wouldn't be able to find it because the weather and rain have undone it again, and now you would never know. Nature reclaims civilization. There were many ruins of our ancestors from the millennia past, and we sometimes find it hard to find these traces of our ancestors because nature and time reclaim what was once nature and time. So civilization reminds you almost that civilization is very temporary, and civilization requires a constant maintenance. If people had maintained that road, it would still be there. But as we let go of certain parts of our arteries out that connect to the rest of civilization, roads being like an artery, nature will reclaim it. I like that. Before they planted it is underneath the coppice and heath and the thin anemones. Only the keeper sees that where the ring-dove broods and the badgers roll at ease, there was once a road through the woods. So only the keeper sees. Keeper, maybe it's I don't know what that necessarily means. It's still talking about the way through the woods, this road, and it's describing what is that road underneath the coppice and heath and the thin anemones. The badgers roll at ease. So this is what's on the road. We don't find a Starbucks on the side or a big advertisement, big billboard. Nature is here again. Only the keeper sees. I wonder who he refers to as the keeper. I wonder if keeper was perhaps, as we would call them, rangers today, who sort of keep the woods, safe and free from poachers and free from illegal activity, or if the keeper means something else. Maybe we'll find out. So that was the first stanza. Going to the second stanza, there's only 2 stanzas. Yet if you enter the woods of a summer evening late, when the night air cools on the trout-ringed pools. I love that. Yet if you enter the woods of a summer evening late, when the night air cools on the trout-ringed pools. Beautiful, beautiful. So you can really feel what that late summer evening is. Imagine walking into the woods. It's warm. It's evening. So it's dark. When the night air cools, so you're being relieved of that summer heat and the trout-ringed pools. And you see that pools, maybe there's moonlight shining in. He doesn't say that, but I'm just using my imagination. Maybe a little too much. Where the otter whistles his mate. So the animals are coming alive. They're going to get a little freaky, perhaps, whistling for your mate. They fear not men in the woods because they see so few. You will hear the beat of a horse's feet and the swish of a skirt in the dew. So the animals aren't afraid of men because men haven't been around there hunting them or killing them or pestering them or reclaiming or bulldozing their homes. So they're curious. And that reminds me perhaps of, many millennia ago, perhaps our ancestors had a much more, much deeper relationship with animals because they weren't so afraid of us. But now we've had, history, thousands of years of slaughtering animals. I'm sorry to go dark, but our civilization has often come at a price of animals and their homes, and so it makes sense today for animals to be a little wary of us. But where nature's still virgin and where we haven't trespassed and destroyed their lands, and we've given them place to live, they might not be so afraid of us. Steadily cantering through the misty solitudes, as though they perfectly knew the old lost road through the woods, but there is no road through the woods. So, just a beautiful imagery and a beautiful idea. And it is true. There are places like that that have their majesty restored. Because civilization once there, perhaps once active, maybe there are many travelers and industry and business, and nature's back at it again. I like that. And perhaps one day, I'm not saying this is what I want. Of course, I'm a human and I want our species to thrive, but I also want us to live in harmony with nature. And I'm sort of a proponent. I'm not trying to persuade you, but if we had a little less industry, yeah, we might not be as wealthy or have as many fancy gadgets. But if we had a more lush world where we could go to some of these places and not trot all over the animals' homes, but find some sort of equilibrium with nature, I think that would be great. I know, that's just a cold read of Rudyard Kipling. First time I've ever read him, and I hope you enjoyed it. My name's Ryan Freeman. We'll see you next time.